Picture this, a plant that thrives in water. Its roots a living sculpture, glowing from within with a soft ethereal light. What if you could turn your living room into a lush, mesmerizing oasis with a single elegant piece of living art? To create this fantastic display, we're going to need a few things, and top amongst those is cuttings. I have lots and lots and lots of rooted Epipremnum Shangri cuttings. I took apart my Epipremnum Shangri moss pole and I took these cuttings knowing that I wanted to do something very special with them. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with them at the time, but I got some ideas from a few people online and yeah, we are doing that with these cuttings. Now, the main ingredient for this is this setup over here. And this is an aquaponics setup that was generously donated to me by the lovely people at LV Planters in Las Vegas. And this is going to make my plant pop. So no, they did not sponsor this video in terms of them giving me money or things like that. They did provide this, for which I'm really grateful. And so the setup that I'm doing is completely my own. Any mistakes, that's on me. And any reviews are completely unbiased. So I'm really looking to get into that. I got two, actually. I don't think it comes in a set of two, but they sent me two and I'm very happy about that. They sent me two. There's some little beady type things in there, you know, like these little glass balls. You know, they're not really doing, oops, I dropped one. This is not a Leca substitute, right? They're purely decorative. That's what I think they are anyway, unless there's another function, but they're purely decorative in my mind. And this has a USB powered thing that actually lights up the display, which I love. I love the fact that it's USB powered because one of the things this kit actually comes with, it comes complete self-contained. It comes with an air pump. Now, because this air pump is coming from America, it's got different power requirements than I use in Australia. So it does come with a little air pump, but I'm not going to use that air pump because I'd need to get a step down transformer, or is it a step up transformer or something of the sort. And so I'm going to use an air pump that I own. Here's one I made earlier. And the good thing about this air pump is it actually has two outlets, which will go really well with my two aquaponic thingies. So if you'd like to get yourself one of these, I will leave the contact for LV Planters in the description. You can go and take a look. And I love that they come with little remote controls, right? So you can actually even control what color you want the light to be. That is going to be really interesting. Now, the next thing that we're going to use for this setup, hang tight, is this. I know you're thinking to yourself, what the heck is that, Nora? What is that? I know. I needed something to hold everything together. So now that I'm not going to use a moss pole for this, that plant is going to grow. That Shangri-La is want to go places. See, it's already wanting to go places. So I got myself a plant stand, and that is what I am going to use as instead of a moss pole. Now, if I can actually, if I could open this box, that would be fabulous. That would be a good start to our experiment. I can't even open the box. Ha, there we go. There we go. Lift up my table so you can see that a bit more. So something like this. That's the manual over there. Yeah, so this is going to be really interesting. So I'll put this to one side because we're going to assemble that in a second. But before we do that, I want us to take a look at the cuttings that we've got. I really like how things have turned. I love how it looks. It's such a beautiful plant. I just need to try and separate them. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that plant is right there. Look. It's so beautiful. I mean, I've got so many cuttings here. I'm obviously not going to use all of them. Look at that. It's so nice. But I'm going to have to come up with another idea as to what I'm going to do with the others. And I'm thinking, I might just do an Epipremnum Shangri bowl. You know what I mean? So I'll have the plants, and maybe I'll actually put them in separate little pots instead of having them in the one planter, because then it's easy for me to, you know, if I need to repot something or if I want to put more cuttings in one pot, then I'm just dealing with one pot as opposed to having to take everything out. So I don't know, these are quite small, so I'm not sure I want to use them. I saw like this one is good because it's already got, you know, it's quite long. I might use those ones. I'm quite liking those. So I'll put these back. I mean, I won't do it now because that's going to take forever because this project's already going to take me so long. I'll put them here and we'll look at these ones. Ooh. Huh. Look at that. Look at that. Roots are beautiful. Yes, I like this one. I like this one. This is definitely going in there. That's huge. Those roots look beautiful. I mean, obviously that was the tip cutting, right? This one looks really good too. That's nice with beautiful roots as well. That's a good contender. These are all small, but the roots are looking really, really nice. The thing I don't like about these is they're quite green. And I know that's probably a function of the light as well, but I don't want to use too many green ones. So I'll put that to the side. I've got two here. So those are the ones ooh, this is looking promising. Yes, 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 yes. And there, definitely going to use that. Yes, look at that. Beautiful. It's actually even got a tiny leaf already. Yeah, this is what happens when you have so many cuttings. It's hard to decide. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And look at that growth point that's coming through, and that plant is going to continue growing. Well, okay, enough about this. You know what criteria I'm using to decide which ones are going to be in my planter. And so now we are going to construct the plant stand first, and then we're going to pot the plants up. Now, you all know how much I hate constructing things and instructions. I absolutely hate them. This is the base, and these are the tools that we're going to need, and these are all the rings that go to making the thing. So I don't need this no more. So the base, this is the base, and then this obviously goes on there. Now, what I don't know is how do I secure that? I'm gonna have to find that out. Okay, right. This is very interesting. These are the instructions. I don't really understand them. I don't know how. What goes in there? Oh my gosh, I hate these things. I really, really do. It's the worst instructions I've ever seen, honestly. I even went on the QR code thingy. I went there and the video is, there's no video. It's just a thing of, oh, okay, my bad. Here, they're showing something. So you only secure that at the end after you've finished constructing everything. Okay, so we need to figure out which one is, so this is ring D, this is ring C, this is the smallest, oh, these ones seem exactly the same. One of them is B and one of them is A. Well, I don't have to worry about that right now because I've got D. Oh, hang on, I do, because I need to find out which one is B because B goes next. So B has got lots of holes in it. B is that one, okay? And then I need to secure B to, oh my gosh, I might be here all day. This is before we even get to the plant. I see. So there's a thing there that says lay everything flat first, and then, because that makes more sense to me, honestly. I was like, what? It's gonna be so wobbly if we're doing it like this. Yes, this makes sense now. So I'm gonna put it down there, and then I'm gonna put B and attach it. Now, the question is, what am I using? I'm using these screws. Okay, Okay. I'm just going to get on with it, okay? You're not going to hear from me again until I finish constructing this. Okay, this is looking good. It's looking very promising. It feels pretty sturdy as well, actually. I am highly encouraged. So the next thing I need to do, I know there are lots of crosses in this. I don't think I quite understand it. I'm going to stand it up and then screw that into that. Okay, so this goes there. Like that. And that, oh, hang on. Gotta make sure I get it right. This is weird because this base doesn't have any other. Okay, I see what they mean. I see what they mean. So I'm gonna put that in there. And that stands up. That just doesn't go. It does now. Okay, I just had to put it in. That caught nicely. And then I hope it will work. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, hang on, no. Yes. Whew. Ah, excellent. That is now solid. Yes. Okay. I am so happy with that. I'm really, really happy with how this came out. It looks like it's going to be flimsy, right? But it actually isn't. And so this is what we've got there. Okay, I've got my stand back here all constructed. And now let's focus on the plants and how we're going to put those in there. So lovely, lovely root systems going there. Oh, I like this one. This one is really, really good because, oh, hang on. Yes, this one. Look at those roots. You've got the secondary root coming out of the primary root, and you've got the same up there as well. So this one is really, really ready to go. And yeah, I've chosen my plants. That's it. That's all you need to know, and you know how I did it. So now let's get to the all-important gizmo, shall we? So this is the Aquaponics unit, and I'm just gonna take off this tape very, very carefully. I'm pretty sure LV planters actually construct these. You know, they put them together themselves. So it's really awesome that they can do this and yeah, help support a small business. The thing I love about LV planters though is if you're looking to get a plant that's growing in Leca, I think they're the only store that I know of anyway that actually sell plants already living in Leca. So that's really awesome. So that's the little, I think they probably printed this. This is the little place where the plants go in through there and the roots of the plants go and live in there. And if I've got one thing I want to say about these, and when I opened it up the first time, I looked and I thought, oh, okay, that's a bit problematic for me anyway. And again, this is me not having thought through everything. I'm sure there's a reason why they did it this way. When you look at this cover, you've got that hole there, and then you've got these bits over here. And I'm guessing this is what contains the plant so that the roots are, I don't know, I really I'm struggling to understand what the role of this is. I'm sure there is one, and I'm sure they'll tell us in the comments. So this is not a criticism. It's just like, I'm wondering what that is. And I'm wondering if it's going to mean that I'm not able to put the number of plants that I would like to put in there. So maybe making this hole a little bit wider might be a great idea, especially when you're trying to put a plant in here that is much thicker. I don't know. I could be talking from nowhere, but that's my feedback. And of course, this is the cable that powers up the light source. So I just need to keep peeling these. And of course, this is to keep it all together. This came from Las Vegas, right? And I thought it was going to break by the time it got here. Clearly, it didn't. So that is some awesome packing that went on here. Okay. Ugh. So this is the pipe that goes to the air pump over there, and it comes through there. Now, I'm not sure whether this is an actual check valve. Again, this is me showing my aquaponics inexperience. I'm not sure whether that's what that is or whether that's just something that regulates the amount of air that goes there. That's something I probably will be asking. But of course, I wanted this to be an unboxing, like a proper experience. If you got this at home today, this is what you'd be going through. You probably, I don't want to have to start going to the manufacturer immediately. So yeah, I'm going to ask that question. There's probably a way I could find out. I don't see that there's a valve, and I don't know if I want to put one. I think I might want to put one because I really like my air pump. It's a dual one, and it's got me through many things. I think I might put a check valve. I might put a check valve. I don't know, especially because of, I mean, you might not need one depending on the level at which you're putting your air pump at, but I like to be safe. Rather be safe than sorry. You plug that in. So all right then, enough mucking. So you can pull that to give you some leeway. Now, this is the plant that I want to put in here. So obviously, I think it's best to start root first because there's no other way I can get this. I obviously can't go from the bottom to the top. Going from the top that way. Yeah, that is exactly what I am going for. That is exactly what my plant is going to look like. Woo, I'm excited. All right, I've got a big one here. Look at this one. Overachiever. I'm telling you, absolutely overachieving plant. This is going to be tricky. At some point, I actually did think I was going to cut these things off, but I'll leave it and see how I get on. Because I'm not meant to be modifying the product. You know what I mean? It's not my product. And it might even be that I actually don't need to modify it. I just don't understand it. There. Yeah, like I said, I'm really concerned that I won't be able to put the number of plants that I wanted to in there. I wanted to put quite a lot because I want this to be quite bushy. So I'll put this long one on the other one. So if I want 2, 3, maybe I can squeeze 4 in there. Try and see if I can squeeze 4. Oh, right. I got a paper clip. I don't know how much that's going to help me, but I'm just going to try. Actually, when I stick my finger in there, I can pull it up from the other side. Woo! I broke it. I broke it. Because what I don't want to do is damage the roots. The roots are so important in this. They're the number one thing. There we go. I got it. Got it. And now, oh my gosh, it came out. Oh, it's going in. I don't think I can put more than 3 in there. I really don't think so. Sharks. Yeah, it's I'm not sure. I actually, like I said, I don't understand what the role of this is. And because I don't understand what their role is, I'm just going to do that because that allows my plant to breathe a bit. And I could be wrong. I could be completely messing this up. And if I am, I'm sorry if I'm messing up your creation. I really am sorry. But that seems to work better for me. Yeah, that definitely works better. And now that I've done that, I could even put another plant in. And it's so much easier and they just go straight in now. So yeah, I get how. I think it's just to contain the plant. The other thing I need to make sure I do is make sure that my new growth isn't stuck behind this. So there's quite a fair bit to think about in this process. Anyway, there. And that then goes in there. That goes in there. Oh! And see, that's the risk you run if you take that out, those little clips. There. That's good. I like that. Okay, that'll stay. So now I'm just going to put the plants on this other one and then we'll be back and set up the whole thing. Okay, I've got, I think, what is 4 plants in each of these aquaponic vases, and which in my mind, I think is a little bit of a shame. I'm not sure how design works, but if we can get more plants in there, I think that would work so much better in terms of what functionality this opens up to. It's fine if, I mean, even if you had to have one big, you know, aglaonema or diphrambatia, the hole is just a little bit too big. Having a bigger hole, I think, is just going to make things so much better. So now I'm going to put some water in this. So I've got 2 liters of water in this jug, and I'm just going to open that up and just, you know, go like so. And I'm using water today, not nutrient solution or anything like that, because I just want to have a good idea of what the thing can do and what it looks like when you don't have nutrient solution making the water brown. You know what I mean? So that's just about a liter for each of those vases. There was one thing I noticed happening when I put water in this one. So I was looking at this little valve thing here. So when I opened that, I noticed that water was coming out. Oh, hang on, I should put it down. So when I put it down, oh, I hope you can see, there's water coming through there. So I am not convinced that this is not going to inadvertently end up with water in my water pump. So what I'm going to do at this point is actually remove these little blue things and put some check valves. I have some check valves. I use a lot of air stones for a lot of the stuff that I do. So I've got my little check valves here, and these check valves have they've got a little arrow that shows you how to put the check valve. I'll come closer and show you. There's a little arrow there that tells you which direction. So that direction is the flow of air, and that's where the air stone is going to be. And this side is what goes to the pump. Okay, so I could try and, oh, I'm just pulling that out. That is proving to be a little bit difficult. So I've just got a pair of scissors here. I mean, I guess I could. It's not that, it is coming out, yay. So I've just pulled that out. Now, I've got my check valve here, and this is the direction that the air needs to go into. And so I put that like so. And then this is what I'm now going to attach to my air pump. Yep, so I'm just gonna cut this one because nobody's got the time for that, okay? So this is what came with it. This is what I'm now attaching to mine because I just want to be sure. I don't know if it actually does, but honestly, I've already told you guys that I just want to save my air pump just in case something happens. And I want to be able to put it in a position where I need it to be without worrying that I'm going to get water going into my air pump. So I'll do the same thing for this one and pull that one out. That's the direction there. And that goes in rather nicely. And this is my other tube. Cut that off. And that goes there. So there, got it. So just turn that to go in. And that is beautiful, exactly the way I want it. So I'm gonna put these to the side, you know, in case I find out that they're actually something really essential and I should put them back, but I doubt it. So I've got my air pump here, and these are the two outlets. Those are the points where just making sure there's no water in that. Do you know what? I'm not happy with that. I'm not 100% convinced that there isn't any water in these pipes. I want to take them off because, again, better safe than sorry, I say. I've got lots of other pipes hanging about. So this is some tubing that I have that just lies around in my house, because why not have aquarium tubing just hanging about? And that allows me to actually have a pretty decent length of that. That one was a bit short. Then I can move it around and maybe even hide my air pump if I need to. Where did I chuck my scissors? Put them over here. So, new tubing. Okay, new tubing, yay. All right, now we'll do that again. I just want to be safe. Okay, that's good. Right, now that I've got my new tubing in and I know there's no water in that, I can connect that to my air pump. And it does get a little bit fiddly. Getting that on. That is in. See, that is in there. And I'll get my other one, and yep, that did it. And just make sure that is really in there. Okay, I'll put this one over here, and I will put this one over here, and this there is my air pump. Now, the moment of truth is about to descend upon us. I'm going to connect my air pump, and we will see how that works out. This thing keeps knocking into my head. Oh, ha ha ha! Look at that, people. Ha! That is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. Now I'm gonna turn the lights on. That's on. Which one is this one? Okay, that's this one, and that's this one. Oh, wow. And I can use my remote to change the colors. So I'll make that green as well. Green! And you can actually change the settings, you know, on this. You can have it flashing, you can have them strobing, you can have them doing all sorts of interesting things. So I've got this one's doing that, this one's doing that. It is just beautiful. And that is pretty much how your plant sits. So if you get a really lovely, silent, you know, air pump, all you're hearing is those bubbles. The bubbles, and you know, once those roots grow down there, it is going to be absolutely brilliant. Now, what I'm going to do is put these to live down there with my thing. And the idea is that hopefully, once my plant starts to grow, I'm going to start winding it around this trellisy thing, and it's just going to be absolutely magical. So I'm going to go away for a few seconds and set all that up and show you how it all looks. And so this is where my contraption is going to sit. And you can see here, it is bubbling away, looking just amazing. And once these plants start to grow a bit bigger, you can see that is the general idea. And so if you've got like 3 or 4 vines on this one, they'll be going that way. And the same with this one, they'll be going this way. Something to note, I've got my air pump up here, so it's at a higher level than this. So if, you know, something happens and there's some backflow, just pure gravity will make sure that I don't have any solution going to my air pump. But then also that's why I put the check valves there. That's really, really important to put the check valves. But I'm really happy with how this has turned out, and I'm quite impressed with my remote controls. I'll turn that to, yeah, I think that is just strobing in whatever color. But you know, you can just, you know, have a play with that and see what colors you like. And yeah,
I absolutely love this idea. And I hope that one of these, later down the track as this plant grows, I hope it grows. I hope it's going to be something really magical living here in my living room. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.